Sorry about that. Good afternoon. Health and Human Service come to order. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Baker McCormick, Commissioner Marecki, Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Colleen has requested an excuse. Chair Scott,
Present.
you have a quorum present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
Well, the only remarks I have today is that I want to thank everyone for waiting, and sorry you had to wait a little while, but we had a committee previous to this that went a little over. So please accept our apology. Next item, please.
C, approval of the April 8th, 2025 meeting minutes.
May I have a motion? Motion by Commissioner Marecki, is
We need
second
support.
by Commissioner McCormick. All in favor? All right, aye. Thank you. Next item, please.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Thank you. Next item.
Moving to item 1, under new business, requesting commission approval of a 1-year intergovernmental clinical outpatient service provider agreement with 2 1-year options to renew at the sole option of the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network to receive and disperse funding to support financial year 2024 to 2025 programming in order to provide community-based services to at-risk and juvenile justice involving mental illness.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon,
you.
Madam Chair. Melissa Fernandez, Director of Juvenile and Youth Services. This is our request for approval to receive and disperse the funding allocation for DWIN to provide the community people who have been diagnosed or at risk for mental illness. It would add that it is late between the IGA going back and forth between the boards. We finally received the signed copy March 17th and then was able to get across the line to you.
Okay. All right, are there any questions? Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So DWIN had owed us a little over $400,000. So is this what you're referring to in that time period that was late?
Yeah, correct. And
Okay.
so once this is executed, then we'll
Get the money?
correct. We'll
Okay.
get that money.
All right.
Yes.
Okay,
Right. Thank you.
thank you. Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
How many youth will they service, and where will they provide these services?
Sure. So
Mhm.
for the services are broken up into 2 different areas. The first part is our Choices program. So that's behavioral health intervention. That's 1.8 million. That's all over Wayne County. And the second part is the targeted case management, which is 200,000. So that's intensive case management, case coordination. Last in fiscal year 24, they served for the serious emotional disturbed population, 971 young people were eligible for these services. And for the DD population, 45 were eligible. So a significant portion of young people are assessed. Once they're assessed, then DWIN approves them to receive the services.
Okay, so you said 900
And 71 were eligible.
have developing mental illness?
SCD, correct.
And we have how many young people are you saying in juvenile detention?
So this is
Or-
separate from juvenile detention?
Separate,
Correct.
okay.
This is in our community.
I see, okay. So what would that number look like, the total number that we service in addition to this 900? Because I guess I didn't realize we had this many youth.
Yeah. So these are
Yeah.
young people that are Medicaid eligible in the community.
Okay.
So any young person who's Medicaid eligible are eligible for this funding and this services. The young people that we have in JDF are not Medicaid eligible once
I
they're in
see.
institutions.
And this number 900 are youth all over Wayne County.
That's correct.
Okay,
I'd be happy to
Okay.
share a breakdown if you're interested.
I would be.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Commissioner Anderson? You're okay? All right. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. I need a motion.
Oh,
So
motion to
moved.
approve. Oh, go ahead.
Did you have some more?
Support.
So moved.
Okay.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner McCormick, supported by Commissioner Marecki. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? None. Excuse me, motion carried. Next item, please. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Item 2, forwarding the fiscal year 2024 annual report on the outcome data for its programs for the Department of Juvenile and Youth Services.
Okay,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon again.
Melissa Fernandez, Director of Juvenile and Youth Services. I first want to take a minute to thank all the commissioners, the commission, and the executive team. This is my third annual report that I'm presenting. It's hard to believe that it's been 3 years. It was 3 years in March. for
I
me.
can take a
And the
call
support
right
that I've
quick.
received in really building
Or I
our
can call-
department
or I
has
can
been
take you right
outstanding.
back.
So we're very appreciative of it. And my team, so part of my team is joining me up here today. You have received a copy of the report. It's very extensive. It's about 47, 50 pages. And so I just want to kind of highlight some of the things that took place in fiscal year 24 and talk a little bit about where we're going in our future. But one of the important things for us as we started 24 was really to partner with Wayne State University Department of Behavioral Health and Justice and really coordinating a community discussion on juvenile justice and transforming the juvenile justice landscape. The last time this took place was over 25 years ago when the system was first being developed in Wayne County. So we thought it was important to engage community into really looking at the landscape as it exists. We had participants collaborating across Wayne County in different roles to identify those critical systemic changes that really need to drive transforming juvenile justice. Out of that report, which you also have in your packet, several strategic priorities were developed by Wayne State in collaboration with our community that really looked at increasing flexible funding for grassroots organizations. How much are we investing in the community? How are we partnering with community partners that normally would not be able to compete with government funding or large organizational funding? The second strategic priority was enhancing family engagement and support, expanding equitable access and capacity building for local providers, and embedding cultural competency through targeted training and development. And so out of these strategic areas, we really looked at really strengthening our data collection and our accountability of folks that we are partnering with, accountability of contractors and stakeholders, while also delivering a more responsive and supportive system. And so what that first step in that project in 2024 was really laying the groundwork for continuing these positive outcomes. And Friday, we're embarking on our second project with Wayne State to take those priorities and to start putting them into action. So we're sure we'll have an update for you as we move forward. In October 1st, we saw the state of Michigan legislative juvenile justice reform go into effect. We worked very closely with our Third Circuit Court Juvenile Division and our detention and our community partners to look at what we needed to do and how to approach it. We were ready to go October 1 as a county. One of the big initiatives was implementing a detention screening instrument. We call it a DSI, to really look at the young people that are going in detention. Prior to October 1st, we had pretty much anyone and everyone that showed up at the door was admitted to detention. If you remember, 3 years ago, I was here talking about 160 kids, overcrowding and no staff. Today, after the October 1 implementation of the DSI tool, our population ranges between 88 and 95. Last week, we celebrated having 83 young people in our JDF. That is a significant improvement than 160. Now, while the DSI tool is not perfect, it is a SCAO selected tool, and it's not our preference. We started working with the Annie Casey Foundation to deep dive our local data and Wayne County data and how we could enhance this tool moving forward. We're in the process of that now. We haven't completed that yet. Since October 1, with juvenile justice reform, we have seen a decrease in 150 young people being adjudicated in our county. In 2013, we had over 1,300 post-adjudicated kids. Today, we have 445 kids that are post-adjudicated. Still high, but it's a significant decrease. And so what we found is that we really need to reserve detention, probation, incarceration for the highest needs youth. And so because we haven't been doing that, this is where we run into the issue with not enough beds or not enough, or kids on probation that could be pushed through diversion or prevention programmings. With our diversion and prevention programs, we naturally saw an increase in use of those programs. With our Right Track program, which is a collaboration with the Wayne County Prosecutor, we saw 232 youth diverted. We are working closely with Bob Heimbach from the Prosecutor's Office to create new programming. And we just released our Youth Assistance Program, RFP, to try to invite new community partners to participate as well. Since our numbers are increasing, we need a greater force on the front end instead of the incarceration piece. Our prevention programs in fiscal year 24 saw 803 kids go through prevention, and that's a significant increase from the 700 in fiscal year 23. One of the targets that we really need to focus on in 25 is the issues that we're having with domestic violence and first-time gun offenses. We're seeing a significant increase of young people at the JDF for domestic violence issues that really could be handled in the community with safety planning, with respite care, and with intervention, not prosecution on the other end. We also have seen a significant increase in our young people on electronic monitoring and keeping them in the community with enhanced support on our level 1.5 probations. So again, when we've focused on driving community programming and community partnerships, and so what we're seeing is a decrease in the post-adjudicated kids and the overcrowding at JDF as we're tackling some of those programs on the other end. Our Division of Institutional Care, Director Mac McGee is here. He's our division director. He's been with us for a year and a half, and I was so excited when he agreed to take on this very large task. He's been such a force in driving change at our detention center. In 2024, there was a lot accomplished, but one of their main focuses was really expanding and refining our training program. We have developed a training academy. We have some of our team back here and our director of training. All of our new people go through 6 weeks and 120 hours of training before they even hit the floor. It's interesting. We have people all over the state now, including the state of Michigan, calling us and saying, "How did you do this? You know, we need help. You know, can you come and train us?" So that's a far cry from where we started 3 years ago. Mac, do you want to say anything on your end?
Hello? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so thank you, Melissa. I just, and, good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say, that we are in the midst of a major reform, or what I would call a transformation effort at JDF. I've been experiencing this, and I know that it takes time, but we've made significant progress. When we onboarded a new leadership team in the last year who has a great deal of experience working in different jurisdictions across the country that were under federal oversight, and that's something that we don't want here in Wayne County, right? And so we're trying to right-size the ship, and training is essential. When I first got here, staff was coming in, they would get 1 week of training, they would be on the floor. Now they're getting 240 hours in that 6 weeks of training where they go through role plays, they learn behavior management systems and things of that nature so that they're equipped to manage the behaviors that they're seeing. My idea, my goal with young people that come into the facility is for their contact with our facility, for it to be rare, for it to be fair, and for it to be beneficial. In other words, we want them to leave out of our facility in a better condition in which they came in. And so that means that we have to have a well-trained workforce.
Okay, an update on prevention and diversion, which is Tucson Knight is our division director. And one of our huge lifts was the successful implementation of the Moving Forward program. I think everyone here got a chance to see some of that at the State of the County address. We are very close to opening our first community hub in the city here. And then we are on a roll to duplicate this program across the county. And so we are we will be opening up 2 additional community hubs and duplicating the program across the county. We'll let you know what parts of the county those programs will be duplicated in. For our community-based programming, again, we really wanted to focus on strengthening our community engagement and our supports networks. We worked very closely and were awarded the Transforming Probation Certificate through Annie Casey and Georgetown University. So we worked closely with them over the past year, along with the Third Circuit Court, to really look at our young people on probation. Who's on probation? Are they on probation for an appropriate length of time? And what are the services that are coming out of the probation? And so we're still in the process of working with them and analyzing our data and length of stay on probation. And so we're sure to have some conversations coming up soon about how that landscape will be enhanced with some of the data that we're pulling. Another big initiative at JDF was our Credible Messenger initiative. And so that really is embedding community partners with lived experience who are working on the floor with our staff each and every day. And we kicked that off recently after a graduation and training with Clint Lacey, who's our national Credible Messenger. And we have some of our Credible Messengers here with us today, and that has just been an outstanding success. And so we're hoping that in 2025, we're able to expand that to community and also to parents and families. And so it's my belief that any family who's navigating the system should have a Credible Messenger to help them navigate it, a family navigator, and also our young people in the community should also all be connected with a Credible Messenger to help them navigate the system. And so we're hoping we will be back in front of you to talk about that. So overall, we've made a lot of strides. We really have focused on community and at JDF and really looking at the number of kids who have been in our incarceration spaces, in our probation spaces. Our current system of care has been impactful, but certainly we have been working with the National Council on Youth Justice, American Probation and Parole Association, Wayne State, Annie Casey, Arizona State University to really assess our system and how do we align our system of care with national probation best practices and standards? How do we move towards collaboration with community and not for community? How do we do with others and not for others? And so some of the key components as we move into our next annual report really align with reform and best practices will be, relying on non-system partners to connect young people to community opportunities. Balancing therapeutic intervention and public safety. That's the challenge of this work is how do we balance that community piece and the intervention with also the public safety piece. Increasing the use of prevention and diversion, relying on probation and institutions for the most serious offenders that cannot be maintained in the community. And also our KPIs, our key performance indicators, really looking at our KPIs, making sure that they're in line with best practice and providing reports and updates to you based on firm KPIs that align with national best practice. And I guess in closing, we are a small but mighty team. We have some folks behind us that are part of our team that you never get to see, but they definitely do the work. And so I thought it was a good idea for them to come out. And, no one ever said that it takes a detention center, it takes a probation officer, or, it takes a court officer. It takes a village, and the village is behind me.
All right, very good. Commissioner Maraki?
Thank you for your presentation and thank you for your very thorough report, which I think I probably read 75% of it. So, but I had a question on your report, the Juvenile Assessment Center.
Yes.
So it was noted that they failed to meet an RFP deadline in February. So exactly what does this mean?
Correct. So we did have the RFP that was put out and they missed the deadline for whatever reason. And so there was one bidder. That committee, the bid committee is currently reviewing that bid to see if they've met the minimum qualification. We're still waiting to receive word back. And once we hear back, then we'll figure out what the next steps are. And so we're currently working with the Third Circuit Court in conversations about what needs to happen. Now, you will be seeing an extension. We will extend the contract. We will have to until we figure out what the next steps are.
Okay, so this is actually the single gateway for all the kids to
Correct.
go through. So how long has this group been doing this?
I think about 15 years at the
Yeah.
very least.
So that's weird. I mean, okay, so hopefully you have a comparable group.
Yes, we hope so. And if not, we'll have to figure out how to build that system in another way. We will definitely keep you updated.
Okay. Thank you, but thank you for the report. It's very, very good. I mean, all the statistics, it's good.
Finished, okay. Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for being here and the awesome work that you're doing. I know for sure that we've came a long way, and that's because of the leadership that we have in you. So I want to start by saying thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Training. Mr. McGee.
Yes.
So I know we talked about that before you got here, and I'm so glad that this training is in place. Can you tell us how many thus far staff have been trained? And from that training, um, how it's implemented? I mean, sometimes you have folks that are in place that are so used to doing things the same way and don't really want to
Mhm.
bend. Do you have staff like that? And if so, what and how are you working with them to get them to conform to the new processes?
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. So certainly, thank you for that question. In the last 6 months, 7 months, I mean, we onboarded a training director as well as a deputy of training. They're both present in this room now. And Director Gentry, he was charged with getting a training academy up and running in early 2025. And so we just had our first graduation of, I want to say about 18 cadets or JDS specialists who just came out of that training. I want to say the graduation was 2 Fridays ago. Our next training class will start April 28th. One of the things that's important to say about the workforce currently at JDF, in the last year, I would say probably 85% of the staff are new, right? A lot of them never had worked in the field before, and so they're ripe to be trained and onboarded and coached in the right way, right? In addition to the training academy, what Director Gentry is developing is ongoing training for all staff. So throughout the year, all staff, I believe the state requires 40 hours of annual training. We're looking to hit 80 hours of annual training where Director Gentry and his team will do an annual needs assessment to determine what type of new trainings need to be developed. We're also in the process of onboarding 3 full-time training specialists where it would be their job to develop curriculum, develop training, and to implement and facilitate those trainings. We're also working with MPJS, who you'll hear from shortly, around culture change, creating that culture change. Culture is what you create, but it's also what you allow. And so those are some of the things where we're trying to shift and help change the mindsets from a very punitive mindset or we've always done it this way mindset to what's cutting edge, what's innovative, and what's best practice.
Okay. And so for those 18 members, were they top management? How are you starting, in the training? Where does it start from the top down or the bottom up
Right.
or?
So it was a cross section. So those 18 members, I believe we had a couple of supervisors in that training. We had direct care staff, we had nurses, we had crisis response team members. So everybody that comes into the facility will go through that 6 weeks of training so that we provide them with the skills. Now, in terms of our middle managers, because we also have a very young middle management team of supervisors and managers. One of the things they're going through right now this week is what we call mid-level manager training, where we're trying to, sort of help them skill stream and develop the skills that's necessary to have that professional courage, right, and to effectively make sure that we provide care, welfare, safety, and security for youth and staff in our facility.
Great, great. Again, I'm just happy to hear the direction that you're going and the Moving Forward program. I'm so glad to hear that we're moving forward, right? And that we're being proactive, getting and being engaged in the community is so very important because we got to meet people where they are. And that means, excuse me, going out to the community because sometimes people don't know that there's help until it's too late. And so I really appreciate that work. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. It's Tucson, you want to share your?
Well, I think Melissa did a great job of sharing, but I'll just say I'm also excited about the Moving Forward program and also the YAP that we're putting out, that we're going to get more services to our youth and the community. But what I always, when we looked at some of the data from the Moving Forward program, 90% of the kids did not recommit crimes or become adjudicated of any crimes. So I believe that has made our community safer And it shows that with the right intense mentoring, that young people can stay out of trouble. And that's what I, am proud of the most. So thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to share anything?
Yes, thank you, Tia Lauren, Deputy Director of Juvenile and Youth Services. No, I mean, it's a collaborative effort when this annual report, so many heads put together, so much data, so much analysis and what the next best strategies and the next steps are. And I'm so excited to work directly with these guys and everybody behind us because it really, truly does take a village. And we value everybody's feedback. So everybody that we bring in and even outsiders when we meet, what feedback and how can we use what they say and what can we do together? So I'm super excited, I'm super proud, and I'm so excited for the future.
Very good. Thank you all. It's exciting what you're doing. So,
Thank you.
and those kids really need that. So thank you so much. Sorry, Glenn.
I guess, well, that's all right.
Okay.
I think it's probably all been said already. We're really proud of the progress that's being made. I did want to ask if you wouldn't mind having all your team
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
present stand up and so we can see them and give
all of
them a
the
little
JYS team?
accolades.
Okay, you can stand and introduce yourselves.
Thank you.
Get you introduce yourself.
All right. You want to start here with Portia?
That microphone should work.
Okay.
I'm one of the embedded consultants for the National Partnership.
Carol Kramer Brooks, and I'm also with the National Partnership for Juvenile Services as the project lead.
Hello, my name is Richard Gentry. I'm the training director.
Hi, my name is Tamika Lawson. I'm the facilities director. Hamilton Deputy Director of Training and Recruitment.
Shannon Keys, I'm the lead credible messenger.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nathaniel McQueen, I'm the Chief Program Officer for Juvenile Youth Services.
You're part of our team.
I love these things.
Thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all and we're very proud of all of you, what you've done. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. You need a motion for this, right? Okay. Okay. This is just a receive and file. Number 2. It's been moved by Commissioner Maraki, supported by Anderson. All in favor? Aye, aye, aye. Okay, motion passed. Thank you all so much. And now we will, go ahead.
Item 3, an update by the Department of Juvenile and Youth Services on the National Partnership for Juvenile Services.
Okay, is there some more?
Good afternoon, Madam
Good
Chair.
afternoon.
Melissa Fernandez. Today is JYS Day at the committee. In October, the commission approved our contract with the National Partnership of Juvenile Services. As you heard today, NPJS is a national organization that normally is called in to institutions when they're undergoing federal oversight. And so we worked with them in the past and said, we're inviting people to come in and look at what we're doing. Come in and look at what we're doing well. Where do we need improvements? Because we don't want to be under federal oversight. And so we promised this body that we'd be back in 6 months with an update of how that's going. NPJS has embedded consultants working with us at JDF 5 days a week, 8 hours a day for an entire year. This will take place. So they're actually providing a lot of the training, a lot of the supports. And so I'd like to introduce Carol Brooks and Willie Fullilove to talk a little bit about, in transparency, what's going on and how that's going.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity. I am Carol Kramer Brooks, and I am the project lead for the National Partnership for Juvenile Services. And we are very excited to be part of this transformation of juvenile justice and working with the fabulous team that they've put together. 6 months ago, our 2 embedded staff members started arriving at the detention facility. Prior to that, we had done a lot of work to work with the facility leadership and the facility staff to create and redevelop their behavior management system. That has been accomplished. We've also started training and implementing the behavior management system. As Max said, we have a cohort of supervisors and managers in mid-level management training this week. We finished the first cohort 2 weeks ago. And we are making plans to work with the training department to, like increase the ability of in-house trainers to provide training. So it's been a really productive year. I have to say just kudos to this team because I work in a lot of jurisdictions and this has all happened in lightning speed. And it's just been a fabulous way to engage with Wayne County. I really want to turn it over to our embedded consultant because he's the one that's there along with Mark Hamlet. They're every day working with staff. So let me turn it over to you, Willie.
Well, good afternoon again. My name is
Good
Willie
afternoon.
Full. I'm sorry.
The mic, please.
It's on.
Just pull it up. Just
Pull it up.
Okay,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Good afternoon again. First and foremost, I appreciate the opportunity to be here before you all this afternoon and giving us an opportunity to sort of, speak about some of the work that we've been doing as embedded consultants. Okay, I will. My name is Willie Fullerlove, and I am, again, one of the embedded consultants for the National Partnership for Juvenile Services. Like Carol was saying earlier, myself and Mr. Mark Hamlet, we started our collaboration with the Wayne County Juvenile Detention Facility Leadership back in October of last year. Initially, we came in to just sort of develop, train, and implement a behavior management system known as CHOICES, which stands for commitment, honor, opportunities, independence, courage, equals success. And the whole goal around our behavior management system was to implement this system facility-wide to, one, decrease, inappropriate behaviors that was going on with the youth throughout the facility, increase the appropriate behaviors, and then teach our youth and our young folks in the facilities, ways to deal with things on a more social and emotional level, appropriate level. And so that's what we sought out to do. So early on, through our observations and our assessments of the facility, we found, one, that we have some amazing staff that work in the Wayne County Juvenile Detention Facility. Although, like Director McGee was saying earlier, the large majority are newer staff. A lot of them were hungry, like really hungry to do this work. And it allowed myself and Mr. Hamlet the opportunity to come in and kind of fit right in with our experiences. Me with having over 25 years of experience in juvenile justice, and Mr. Hamlet, I think he's around 25, 26 years, probably a little bit more of experience. So it gave us an opportunity to come in, blend in, build relationships with the staff, build relationships with the kids, and also the sort of process, or what I would call facilitate an intentional direction with the leadership team. So we started off in October. We're in the facility. We're embedded. Myself, 16, we both have 16 days a month where we're in the facilities. That's weekdays and weekends. So we're talking to the staff, we're talking to leadership, and we're sort of helping to process and develop, sort of not just the behavior management, but some of the operational goals with the leadership team as well. So since we've been here, we've trained 2 cohorts so far. That's veteran staff and newer staff. We've started doing a coaching assessment with some of the newer leaders, the mid-managers. We also have other sessions with some of the deputies as well in terms of how they see the world through a detention lens. And it's been, to me, it's been rewarding, having worked in multiple jurisdictions over the years, to actually see it in motion and to be given this opportunity by this amazing team. It's been enriching. And I think that Wayne County is moving in the right direction. I'll take any questions at this time.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? No, all right.
No question?
Thank you all so much. This has just been awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, keep it up. This is, okay. All right. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I don't know of any. The next item.
G, public comments.
Do we have anyone online?
We do have someone on Zoom that requested to speak.
Okay.
It just says iPhone 155 with no name.
Yes, it's Daryl Woods.
iPhone 155.
I think.
Yes, it's Daryl Woods. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I think there is someone.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can. Go ahead,
Okay.
please.
Hello, how you doing? This is Daryl Woods. I'm president and CEO of Fighting the Good Fight, working in partnership with the Credible Messaging Organization and Clint Lacey, and been working with the juvenile detention facility for now over a month. And I would like to, report out that our engagement has been very, very positive and effective. We've been able to work with the young people and work with them on reentry plans, been able to go to court with them and help them navigate those turbulent processes, and been able to engage with families, and been able to do a number of mediations at the facility. We have a team of about 10 people there who's working day and night to be able to provide services there. It's been a labor of love. The staff has received us with open arms, and we've been able to work with them. We'll make sure that we've been covering holidays there. Was there for the Easter holiday, was able to bring in some food and to be able to engage with them and to be able to let them know that they're loved even during these times. Looking forward to connect them to community-based services as they transition out of there. In fact, a couple of people have been released since we've been engaging there, and we've been in touch with them and their families and their CMOs to be able to give them those wraparound services. So it's been a very, very powerful time, and we look forward to continue to do great work under the leadership of Melissa Fernandez as well as Mac McGee, two powerful forces in this system. And it's an honor to speak before this honorable body. Madam Chairwoman, have the highest respect and regard for you. The work you've done in Holland Park and for Wayne County has been amazing, as well as all of the other commissioners there. And we thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Daryl, for all you do.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else? You're welcome.
There's no one else on Zoom indicating that they would like to speak.
Okay. You may go ahead, introduce yourself again.
My name is Minister Troy Muhammad. I'm a resident of Wayne County. I've been a resident of Wayne County. So, when I come to this honorable board, which I've been in front of many times, I come as a resident. So I would really represent community in this aspect. We came in the Wayne County Juvenile Facility community members when you saw a lot of stuff on the news, bad stuff. And it was a lot of community members that got together, and we decided to come in and help out where we could. And that's what we did. It was a great community partnership. It didn't cost any money. I'm watching this staff Director
Oh,
Fernandez,
I think it went out.
in doing what she's doing, it went off. But in watching Director Fernandez and doing
Okay.
what she's
Okay,
doing.
just
You,
keep saying.
you want to comment and,
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it could be the battery.
come down here, please.
Last week.
Yes, you were.
happy to
You
be
did a
here.
great job in Highland Park for us.
Definitely. We got to
Appreciate
keep
it.
it up.
Yes.
But you know, I've been from the beginning of the real issues that we were having, and I watched this staff that was here today. I watched Director Fernandez and how they work with community. And in even looking at the other alternatives, it shows that they're trying to be intentional. Where, you know, in the past, we might have been unintentional. We just let things go because we think everything is all right. But this staff has been intentional in everything that they're doing. It's producing results. They're looking at best practices. And that helps the system all together. You know, so the partnership with community and JDF, it's a great thing. And I hope that we can continue these things and expand on these things and using best practices, you know, as our reasoning. So I thank you all. I love you all. I appreciate you, all of you that I know, that I work with. I know that you're great people, and I know that this staff is great people. So, you know, I'm excited about the future and how we can change the condition of our youth inside the facility as well as those outside.
And together we can.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Anyone else in the audience? All right, come on.
Good afternoon, how y'all doing?
Good afternoon, fine.
My name is Shannon Keys, and I'm the lead credible messenger in the juvenile detention facility. And I just want to say that it's a powerful program. And when we've been in there for like a month. And when we first went in there, I was on the girls' pod, and the young lady, I tried to talk to her because she was having a rough day. And she literally cussed me out. Like, I don't know you, get away from me, I don't want to talk to you. So seeing me several more times within the next couple of weeks, you know, she's having another rough day. So I actually can now talk to her, and she wanted me to put her to the side, and she got to telling me how she witnessed seeing her mom get killed when she was 8. And that like touched me in a profound way. And it's like, those kids really don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And seeing us on a regular basis, you know, they've come to open up to us. And last night, we had a powerful moment where Director McGee, he texted me, he told me that it was a serious issue going on the pod. And so I was at home doing homework, and a couple more of us, we was at different places, and we all came down there, and it was something serious. There had been a couple fights, and they had put a rival gang member on a pod with another rival gang member. So he was in the shower when I got there. So I got a chance to talk to one that he was like, when you get out of the shower, I'm going to do this. Up until this point, he was ready to fight. And so I talked to him, and then we talked to the other one. We ended up mediating the conflict. They ended up shaking hands. They gave us our words. We told them the importance of their word, you know, and so they gave us their word that they're not going to do anything. And so this program is powerful. You know, we come from lived experiences, because a lot of times they say people don't know what we're going through. And I say, yeah, I do know what you're going through, because I've been in juvenile. I've been to prison. I know exactly what you're going through. But I'm trying to tell you, there's other ways that you can navigate. You know, we try to teach them healthy conflict skills, resolution skills, and how to just appropriately act even when you're in a situation such as prison. I said, I did over 20 years in prison and didn't have one fight, because I control my mind. I don't allow nobody else to control my mind. And so we come from a spirit of love. We're not trying to scare them straight, and we're trying to carry them straight. And it's a very powerful program. And we appreciate the JDF staff for having us in there, and we're working together to try to make these kids leave there better and not bitter and broken. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We
You're welcome.
appreciate you. Thank you. Yes. Commissioner Marecki.
You know, I'd just like to note too, that we have 2 of our CMOs here, GrowthWorks and Black Family. So also, thank you for being
Yeah,
here.
we have Black Family
Yep.
Development. Who was the other one?
GrowthWorks, Laura.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes, she's always here.
Yep.
Those 2, we appreciate
Mhm.
them coming and appreciate the work, because I do go to the meetings in my district where Black Family Development and to just listen to these young people, to all what they're doing and what Black Family Development is doing with them. So, yeah. All right. Thank you again. All right. And it's, even the director is at those meetings on Saturday that I attend,
Mhm.
which is really great. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. This is just awesome. Okay, next on the agenda.
Adjournment.
So moved.
All right, it's moved and supported. All in favor? All right, okay. All right. Thank everyone for taking their time.